Alright, let's talk about something that just makes sense. And no, it's not a flagship, it's not trying to beat the iPhone, no, the phone that's gonna make you throw away your S24 Ultra. This is the best phone you can buy in the price range, and I don't want to sound clever, I've actually been using it. Let me explain. OnePlus started back in 2013 with one mission: make phones that offered a flagship performance at a non-flagship price. Their first phone, OnePlus One, was a disruptor. It was cheap, it was fast, and it had community-developed open-source operating system out of the box. Basically a dream phone for Android nerds. Over the years, they climbed fast. Phones like OnePlus 3, 5T, 6T were legends in the tech community. But somewhere around the OnePlus 8, things changed. Price creeped up, they started chasing the premium market, and some fans, they felt a little left behind. And then, OnePlus did a great move. That's where the Note series came in. Back to basic. Good hardware, clean software, no nonsense. And now we have the OnePlus Note CE4 Lite, the latest version of that never settle philosophy. It has been trimmed down for real world use. While most people are going back to basic, OnePlus did something smart here. They gave you a phone that looks clean, minimal, it catches light like much more expensive phone, and it doesn't scream budget. It whispers, I'm smart. And in a world where most affordable phones feels like bricks, this one feels just right in the hand. I've been using the Super Silver version, and I'm not gonna lie, this thing shines brighter than my friend's forehead in July. No shade. Okay, maybe a little. It's made from plastic, yes, but not the cheap, creaky kind. It's smooth, solid, and lightweight at 191 grams. Sits nicely in your hand, and it's just 8.1mm thick. The camera bump doesn't stick out like it's trying to be noticed in a party. Everything about this build is calm and confident, and while there's no full waterproof rating, can handle light rain, coffee spills, or the occasional clumsy moments. Comes with a 6.67 inches AMOLED 120Hz display. That combo alone should cost more. You're getting full HD plus resolution here, 2400 by 1080. That means sharp visuals, clean text, and none of that pixelation you sometimes see in most budget panels. But here's the kicker, this isn't just some random AMOLED panel. This one supports up to 2100 nits peak brightness, and that's a flagship level brightness. So even in direct sunlight, you will not have any problem. You've got adaptive brightness, AI brightness adjustment, and a reading mode that tones down the blue light and makes late night reading way easier on your eyes. Scrolling on this thing feels like you're gliding. That 120Hz refresh rate, it's not just a number. It means fast animation, smoother UI, even apps like Instagram, YouTube, and your browser just feel great. Watching Netflix or YouTube on this phone is actually enjoyable. Rich contrast, punchy colors, deep blacks, seems all has been taken from a much more expensive phone. It also has a DRM system developed by Google, so you're getting full HD quality on platforms like Netflix and Prime. They didn't cheap out here. They gave you extremely good flagship display experience at a budget price, and you can't really see the difference. This thing packs with Snapdragon 695, paired with 12GB of LPDDR4X RAM and a 128GB of UFS 2.2 storage. I know what you're thinking. Snapdragon 695 isn't exactly new, and it's not gonna win any benchmark wars, and you're right, but OnePlus has squeezed every drop of performance out of it with software optimization. You can run your social apps, your emails, take video calls, and even casual games without seeing a slowness. In fact, thanks to the 120Hz screen plus Oxygen OS combo, this thing feels faster than other phones with the same chipset. Animations are tight, app switching is fluid, and you got RAM expansion up to 16GB if you really need it, which helps to keep your background app ready without reloads. Even with light gaming, you are covered. I've seen stable frame rates. I didn't notice any overheating or crashes. It's not a gaming phone, but for daily use, for some light gaming, it's snappy and responsive. Here's where things get really good. The CE4 Lite packs with a 5500 mAh battery, and that's one of the biggest batteries in the category. You're getting 7 to 8 hours of screen on time easily. For moderate use, 2 days. For heavy users, still a full day with juice to spare, and that's absolutely correct. But what makes it even crazy is the 80 watts fast charging. Even though mine didn't come with the charger, with my 25 watts charging brick, I can get from 0 to 100 about 30 minutes. Just 15 minutes on the charger gives you about 50% of battery, and that is really workable. Here's something underrated. It's used battery health engine tech. That means even after 1600 charge cycles, the battery will still retain over 80% capacity. That's long-term thinking. I think this is what value looks like. You're getting a 50 megapixel Sony LYT600 sensor with electronic image stabilization. Again, it's not revolutionary. No ultra-wide, no gimmicks, just a single sensor done well. And you know what? It's actually good. Daylight shots came out decent with accurate colors and surprisingly good dynamic range. HDR mode kicks in naturally, and the shutter speeds, it's quick. Skin tones look decent. Building and footage are detailed. Feels like OnePlus clearly tuned this for real world use and not for lab test. It's not magical when it comes to low light, but night mode does help. It won't blow your mind, but it'll capture usable shots in darker conditions. And with AI, you can do some magic for great images. For video, you get 1080p at 30 frames per second. No 4K unfortunately, but the stabilization helps to keep footage usable for reels, vlogs, or social content. Front camera 16 megapixel, good detail, slightly warm tones, great for video calls or selfies. It's not a photographer's dream, but it's a solid point-and shoot setup for daily life. Alright, let's talk about the stuff most people overlook. Because specs are cool, big batteries, high refresh rate, sure, those makes headlines, but when you actually live with the phone every day, it's the little thing that makes or break your experience. A lot of phones in this range still comes with a single bottom firing speaker, but here you get stereo sound, so when you're watching videos, gaming, or even just listening to music without earbuds, the sound is richer, louder, and more immersive. And they are surprisingly clean too. No distortion at high volumes, clear mids, decent bass. It won't replace your Bluetooth speaker, but it'll surprise you for a phone at this price. And the headphone jack, let's face it, not everyone wants to go fully wireless. Sometimes you want to plug in your favorite wired headphone and not worry about the charging or latency. Plus, with wired audio, you get better consistency and zero lag during gaming. In 2025, having a headphone jack is rare. What would you say? I think that's thoughtful. You get 128GB of built-in UFS 2.2 storage, which is fast. But if you need more, just drop a microSD card that supports up to 2TB. That means you don't have to juggle your photos, videos, and apps consistently. You can shoot, store, and forget about deleting stuff every week. It's freedom, and that is rare. Now, it's not fully waterproofing, but it's protected against dust and light water splashes. So a little rain, a splash from the sink, it can handle, especially when most phones at this price skip it entirely. Note CE4 Lite kept that kind of reassurance. Let me be real with you. Oxygen OS used to be legendary, and while it's changed over time, the CE4 Lite still delivers one of the cleanest Android experience in the budget spec. No bloat, no spammy notifications, just clean, fast, near-stock Android with useful features like Quick Launch, Private Save, Zen Mode, and Smart Sidebar. It runs on Android 14, and OnePlus has promised for 2 years of Android updates and 3 years of security patches. One of the biggest surprises is the in-display fingerprint scanner. Most budget phones go for side-mounted sensors or rear scanners, but this one gives you full premium feel, and it's fast, accurate, and just feels more seamless. These might sound like small things, but stack them up and they shape your entire experience. When your phone sounds good, feels fast, charges insanely quick, unlocks with touch, and doesn't annoy you with bloat, you start to realize OnePlus didn't cut corners. They paid attention to the detail, and that's what makes Note CE4 Lite feels like such a smart buy. And then you ask, why this is the best budget phone? It's not perfect, no 4K video, no ultra-wide camera, no flagship chipset, and if you are switching from Samsung, you might miss the back button because it took me some time to figure it out. What it does offer is balance, a display that looks great, a battery that outlasts most flagships, a software that's clean, fast, and gets updates, a design that doesn't feel cheap, and charging speed that makes you forget about battery anxiety altogether. All of that for under $250. This isn't a hype phone, it's a smarter phone for people who want the best value, and that's what I found out about the OnePlus Note CE4 Lite. If you're into smart tech choices that actually make sense and reviews that helps you make better choices while saving some cash, hit that subscribe button. Drop your thoughts on below or let me know if I missed something. I'll see you in the next one.